You can now connect Google's most powerful agent design Stitch with Google's Antigravity, and it's a cheat code if you know how to use it correctly. And in this video, I'm going to show you how you can connect Stitch with Google's Antigravity so that you can create better website faster than anyone else with higher quality, creating up to 3 pages with one single prompt. And if you don't know who I am, I'm Joe. I'm an ex-senior manager in big tech, and over the past 5 months, I've helped more than 50 businesses transition to AI. And with that being said, get comfortable and let's dive straight in. Let's start with some very simple basics. So this is Stitch and it's still in beta, and this is Antigravity. But what is the big difference between the two of them? So when we're talking about Stitch, we're talking about something that takes care about the UX/UI design. So in simple terms, we're talking about something that takes care about the front end, which means the part of the website that you're actually seeing. When we are moving to Antigravity here, we're talking about the software, right? So allow me to draw a big S of Superman. And what does this mean? It means that in here, we're just gonna make sure that the front end that we created actually has a code that properly backs it up and enables the app to work, right? And in this video, I'm going to show you how these two can interact, and we're going to create a fully functioning web app together. So when does this work best? If you press on the plus right here, you have the chance of uploading images or website URLs. And what does it mean? It means that if you are able to give a reference in terms of style or anything that you want for this website, then the website can, of course, and the app can, of course, works in a way such that it will replicate exactly what are your inputs. So if we can provide some initial pictures, guidelines, whatever, then the website will already have a direction that it will steer towards. And to make it in very simple terms, if we start here and our target is here, right? One thing is that we just randomly ask the agent, okay, build the website, and then maybe it will use some colors and fonts that will drive the agent into this direction. However, if I can already give the agent a picture that tells, okay, like this is more or less the area I wanna go, then the agent will start designing your website in such a way that at least it will go in this interval, and with more and more iteration, it will go towards the goal that we set. So this is why giving some initial indication is super important. We built a few videos ago a website based on invoices. So I want to still remain on the invoice type of web app, but this time we're going to do it much differently, right? So we're going to use a website URL. So I took a super random invoice app that it's out there on the internet that's called Invoice Ninja, and I'm going to paste it right here. I don't have any association with them. I've never used it. I don't know what that is. It just gives me the initial guidelines that I want in order to provide some style to the agent so that it can start working towards something that I actually appreciate. And the initial prompt that I'm going to give, it's something that I already written, and I will read it to you real quick. So this is the prompt that I think I'm going to paste for free down below in the link. So check the first link down below. And it basically gives some guidance. So, hey, I'd like you to build a clean, modern 3-page web app for Invoice Ninja. And then the flow should be structured first three steps. So page 1, the selection users chooses between pricing tiers. Page 2, customization user customize their workspace, so business name, logo, and etc. And page 3 is the checkout, okay? Perfect. So let's now press enter and generate. And what you will see is something pretty disruptive right here. And you will see that unlike what we were doing before, where we were generating 1 website pages at the time, here you will have 3 web pages designed at the same time. And this is an insane capability because you immediately understand that basically we are deciding top to bottom the whole customer journey that a user have to do when it lands in our website, right? So in one shot, I can have already the full visibility of what's going on. So you can now see that right here, it started generating all 3 pages in one shot. So what you're going to be able to see is that once this is fully generated, in here, we're going to also be able to modify one at a time based on the feedback that we have. And now let's just wait that all of them are actually completed, and then we can continue. Actually, it was much faster than expected. So here we are with the 3 pages. And as you can see, the style is very compliant and it's already at the first shot. And you saw it because I was talking with it. It's already super, super good. And we have a choose your plan with a starter, pro, enterprise. And then here we have the customization. So business name, everything that we asked and etc. So live preview. And then here we have the secure checkout, right? So now what do I want? Most likely I want to add some 5-star reviews to my website. And if you can see right here, actually maybe you can't see it. So just let me move myself real quick. So in here, you also have the possibility of having the 3x, which basically means that it's generating 3 pages in one shot, which is exactly what we just saw. Let me reposition myself real quick so we can proceed. And I'm going to prompt now something along the way of, hey, I love the design. If you could, please, I would like you to modify only the page 1, which is the one that I have highlighted. And in this page, I would like you to add 5-star reviews in order to make the whole app more seem more legit or more appealing overall. Now, what is it going to happen? It's going to happen that I'm going to get 3 actual suggestion and recommendation for the app that I asked to start and redesign. And once this is completed, I will have the chance to choose and modify the one that I prefer the most. Now, while this is being processed, what I want to show you is that you have the ability of actually even customizing and changing pages in a very customized format. And if you press in here, you have edit, you have the possibility of doing something which is called edit theme. And in here, you have the possibility of changing the font, changing the colors, and changing between dark and light. And the AI will start regenerating the page according to everything that you recommended. Now, because I don't want to apply any changes for now, I'm not going to do it. And we're just simply going to wait that the overall thing in here is going to be generated and we can pick the best one and then we can move on. Perfect. So now I have chose actually the best option, which is this one. And you will see that now in here, we have the 5-star reviews with such a nice font and everything. And now all I can do is simply go in here, press backspace, and there we go. Now, what do we want to do? Now we actually develop the front end. So what people are actually going to see. Now, we need to download this and export it, and we then need to import it into Antigravity. So how are we going to do it? You will notice that in here, I selected the 3 of them, and I'm going to now press export. And if you did it properly, by the way, I want to stress it out, you will see all of the 3 pages in here. And now what's going to happen is that you are going to export it as zip, and you're going to press export. And once this is done, we're just going to now move to Antigravity and open the folder inside Antigravity. So we're going to press open folder. I'm going to go into my desktop, Antigravity, and I have the Stitch folder right here. Yes, trust the authors. Yes, allow. And in here, you will see that we actually have all of the 3 pages already imported. So actually, as you saw before with also the screen and etc., we have imported everything, including the HTML, because one of the most important things that you have to remember is that Stitch is a front end, so it's a UI UX first type of app. We designed the front end. Antigravity is for software, as we mentioned before. So how we're going to use Antigravity is just to create an app or a software that it's scalable and it will actually use the code and create code, that will not break. So with that out of the way now and that clear, we can say something along the way of, hey, please, I have imported a 3 pages web app. I would like you to codify this into a fully functioning web app. And once you have done that, I would also like you to give me a local host for me to be able to open and see the actual app. Cool. So with this now, we're gonna press enter and we're now gonna wait. Now, what did we do? We just now asked Antigravity to recreate the whole thing. So one important thing that we need to understand is that right now, Stitch and Antigravity are still not connected. And why is that? Because as you saw, we're treating, as of now, Stitch as a third-party tool. Yes, they live under the same Google ecosystem, but they're not connected yet. And how are we going to connect the two? We're going to use something which is called NCP. An MCP is basically a universal USB. You can think about it like this, or how I usually say, it's the English of apps, that will allow the two apps to actually get connected together, right? So that they can start talking. So this is what MCP is. And once that is done, then we're going to also import what we call skills, which basically means that we're going to enable now Antigravity and Stitch with functionalities to do something. So this is an important separation that we need to do. Right now, we just use Stitch to produce the UI UX, and then we're now gonna connect the two, and later on, we're gonna teach Antigravity a new ability that will help the whole IDE to perform the things that we want, okay? So how are we gonna do it? And by the way, sorry for the thousands of notifications. I recently changed my laptop. So as you can see, first project on Antigravity just for you. So I'm going to press proceed on the implementation plan. And in here, I'm going to go into MCP servers. And as you can see, if I press Stitch, by the way, spelled properly, right here, it's not there, right? So we're going to have to go into manage MCP servers. And as you know, we are going to have an MCP, a custom MCP connected here. And we're going to do it via the raw config. So what does it mean? It means that in here, we're going to import a JSON that we're going to get from the Stitch application. So with that said, let's go back to Stitch. Top left, we're going to press settings. And in here, we're going to go with create a key. And now we have our API key. However, one thing that you will notice is that here we need actually a JSON-like file, right? So what we need to grab now, it's what we call the MCP config. So this is the page. You're just going to press MCP config, or you can go here, Stitch with google.com doc MCP setup. And this is what we want, right? So with the anti-gravity stuff. And right here, what we just need to do will be to replace this with our API keys. So we're now going to go here. I'm going to paste this. Then I'm going to grab my Stitch setting. In here, API key, replace it, and then eventually I will save this. And right now, if everything is done correctly, once we go back and we close this, and we go back to manage MCP servers, and we refresh, what we should see is that Stitch is now connected with nothing red. And you will notice that if you did something off, it will just be red all over. Let's now go back to our main agent and see how this is done. We have implementation plan. We're going to press proceed. And then in here, we're just going to wait that the whole process will be finished. Cool, seems like it finished. So we're going to say something along the way of, hey, please, everything looks fine. Can you please provide me a localhost link where I can actually see the website in action? And then this should then give me the localhost. Phenomenal. So I'm going to press now localhost. And I can actually see that this is the website and this is on a laptop. So we also made the thing for a phone. So actually, to be fair, we should go in here and we should be able to better see the quality of this. I am astonished. Phenomenal. So let's now go back to the web version and see if it works. Select a plan. We're going to be able to then go here. We're going to be able to type a lot of stuff in here. Tax rate, I don't know, 5%. Brand logo, we could upload, continue to payment. And that's just a matter of integrating it with a Stripe payment. And then eventually we would be able to collect the payments. So actually with one shot, we managed to get this up and running. Now, if you really wanted to be specific, as you can see here, this is of the wrong format. Like in here, this is for mobile and this is for desktop. So we could just simply ask Antigravity to fix it. And let's actually try to do it so that we can have a properly functioning website. So back to Antigravity. Hey, the whole thing looks fire. However, there is an issue. It seems like the first page is adapted to the desktop while the second page is on mobile. And then the third page again is for desktop. I'm going to provide you 3 screenshots to prove you what I mean. And I would need you to make them all of them like designed for mobile. So just like page 2. Now with this prompt, while this will go here, I'm gonna start with screenshot. Actually, let me start like this. So I'm gonna do like this, right? And I'm gonna say capture. Then I'm gonna paste the first one. Then I'm gonna go here, then capture, and then I'm gonna go here and paste the second one. And I'm gonna go here and then capture again. And we are fantastic. And now we will have anti-gravity that will fix properly the code so that we can actually have a decent app working. And we can finish the whole project with something that is production ready, and we can actually start deploying it to whatever it may be. So what I would recommend is GitHub and then Vercel. However, then you will choose the thing that you prefer the most. Perfect. So it seemed like it worked. Let's go and check it out. Like, oh, now this design is beautiful, mobile compliant, and we are actually good to go. So now we created the first thing, but now how does the MCP comes into play? And how are we actually going to use it? And what is the skill that actually we are going to use, right? So let's go straight away into the skill. And this is a looping skill. And this skill will basically help us in creating as many websites as we want at the same time, this 3-pager stuff, using anti-gravity. So everything will be managed within anti-gravity. How are we going to do it? We're just going to go in this GitHub repo. I will give it to you for free down below. And we're just going to copy this. And then I also, as you generally know, I do this and I say, hey, please help me. Hey, please help me import this GitHub repo with the skills in here so that I can use it. And so, as you know, I generally do this, and then I also give the raw text just in case, because as you know, when you are using LLMs or in general, these IDEs, they are actually using some weird scraping capabilities that most often, specifically if you have drop-down menus and stuff, it will not enable like the LLM to properly read the website. So this may not be the best in class way to do this, but this is for sure a very effective one. So that's why I generally tend to copy both the link and the raw text that I can see on the page so that the LLM doesn't have to, scrape and then get crazy, but it can simply read, right? So that's the rationale behind it. So once this is done, we're just going to come back here and we're just going to open a new conversation. And just for the sake of it, I'm going to just show it to you right now. So in here in the Open Manager will be one of the best things that we can do, right? So we're just going to press Open Manager right here. And then in here, we're just going to be able to start a totally new conversation that will be connected again to our, still to the workspace that we are operating, which is the Stitch. So as you can see, we're still inside here. And now, why do we want to do this? Because specifically, if you hit the context window, which is a bit around 1 million token. Token, if you're not familiar with it, is just the letters and the words that are inside your conversation. Then the LLM that becomes a little bit, rusty, and it struggles to keep up because it has to manage all of this gigantic amount of information. While if we start a new conversation, like we did, anti-gravity is able to get and understand all of the folders that we have. So the structure, the workspace, the code, that stays in the memory. However, like the historical conversation, so all of the back and forth that I had with the agent is just eliminated. So right here, we start with a fresh conversation, clean, and then we can have a higher output quality if we use it in here. Phenomenal. So just before we continue with the new conversation, I just wanted to show you that these Stitch skills have now been imported. So that's why when we will be using them inside the new window, we're going to be able to access them. And as you can see right here, we have a lot of various skills. So design, remotion, which is for video, React components, Stitch loop, and here is what we are going to use. So by the way, this is phenomenal because we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 new super powerful skills that we can use in anti-gravity. And now we're just going to focus on the Stitch loop. So let's go back to the new window. and ask something along the way of, hey, I would like you now to use the Stitch MCP that I have connected. And also, I would like you to use the Stitch skills that I have imported in the main folder. And I would like you to create two additional websites. One should be for Italian coffee. The other one should be for swaggy hats, if that's still a thing. And I would like those to have the same style as the app that you just created. So the one inside the Stitch folder. So same concept. And I would like the first page to be like a home page with a couple of pictures that you're gonna use and display there. Then I would like the second page to be the pickup option, and then the third page to be the checkout. So once this is completed, we're just gonna press enter. We're just gonna shoot it. And I am now going to show you what this will do, because whatever is gonna happen now, which is the very, very cool thing, is that since we're connected to Stitch, we're gonna be able to operate for free. The agent now is still proceeding, but as you can see, the agent understood what is the actual plan for this. And now it's creating two different things with the Stitch MCP. And as you can see, the structure is the same, right? So the first one is Italian coffee. The second one is swaggy hats, whatever this may mean. And you see here that we have the same structure. So the homepage, and now it disappeared, but fine anyway. So the homepage, and then we have the pickup option, and then we have the checkout. Let's now go back and see what I mean by free, right? And this is exactly what I want to show you. So as you can see right here, we're having that the first website is being created. And this happens because we connected the MCP. So basically we gave Antigravity the possibility of doing something and so of acting, right? And here, we're not using credits, and this is the most incredible part about the whole thing, and that's why for you is going to be free. Because now, we are building these things inside actually Stitch, which basically means that we are leveraging the power of the design agent itself in order to create the website that we want inside Antigravity. So this is just mind-blowing and amazing. And here, just an update, you can see Caffè di Lusso, this is luxury coffee, with the same style, with the image. And by the way, this is such a clean image. I love it. I'm a coffee lover, by the way. And then pickup order. And then look at how insane this is, considering that we gave little to no boundaries for the prompt. This was just a general, like, create it, right? Like, now, there is a big issue. We are never going to pay this much for a coffee. In Italy, €1, and that's that. But anyway, we can sort this out later on, but look at the quality of the pictures. Now, this is just stunning. This is just beautiful. I absolutely love this. All right, so as you can see now, we have the two website produced. So let's now go and check. Let's the swaggy hat now. And all right, we can see that we have hats like this. So let's put these and this in the cart. Then we're going to press it. And then you can see right here that you have options, then view cart, and here we have our pay option. So now the only thing left is for you to publish these things on GitHub and Vercel. If you're interested in learning how you can monetize these things, I would suggest you to check the first link down below. While if you want to know how to publish it on GitHub and Vercel, check this video right here.